Since Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the division, I tried to get Ryan Eller in, and he says to me, "No, man, I'm playing pickleball.
He's playing what?
Pickleball.
What is that?
It's like okay. First off, pickleball was a sport that was designed for old people that couldn't play tennis anymore, or maybe they weren't even any good at tennis, right? But like pickleball's been a thing for some people for a while. Um,
Okay.
but like the millennials found out about it and decided we're going to adopt this sport, right? We're
Pickleball,
we're
huh?
too much of a pussy to go play racquetball and take a rubber ball to the eye at 300 miles an hour. So we're
Got
going to
it.
go play pickleball with what is essentially a wiffle ball.
Got it.
I mean, I had to then I questioned his ability to even be in a grouping, right? Like I don't know how much shit you could dog when you just told me that you play pickleball 5 times a week.
First of all, Ryan Eller is what we have dubbed cowboy, although he has been a Commanders, Redskins, whatever fan.
Yep.
He's been a Washington fan forever, but you know how we always talk about how you don't hear a peep from Cowboys fans until they fucking win something. He is the poster child for being ghost as fuck. In fact, we've made numerous memes with Ryan Eller as a ghost because he only rears his head when the Commanders wins, which means we only see him once a decade.
I mean, I literally haven't heard from him in 3 or 4 years. Like I
Yeah,
thought he went on a snowboarding trip and died on Mount Kilimanjaro. That's what I thought happened.
on a
You
Swiss
know.
Alps somewhere.
So I'm glad to know you're alive, Ryan Eller. But the memes are going to come flowing. I might even need to dig up Greg Pinella to have us make a few memes and bring him back to life since
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I can't deny the fact that Jaden Daniels had and we talked about this last week, right? Like you could talk about passing yards, and Brock Purdy's number one in the league. The stat for me is QBR, right? Because it takes into account all stats. Your passer rating is great too. Like, I mean, that's a nice stat just to see how good a quarterback is at passing the ball, because that's what they're supposed to do most of the time. But Jaden Daniels is number 5 in the league right now, blowing
Well,
it up.
he's the number one rookie in NFL history with QBR with 75 or more passes through the first 4 weeks of the season.
Did you
Number
see
one.
who else is on that list?
I have.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 out of 4 is the GOAT, right? Tom
That's
Brady's
right.
on that list. The other three, including Jaden, are kind of pedestrian, right? So pump your brakes. I
Still
like the kid.
impressive.
I
Still,
like the kid. Don't get me wrong,
still
right?
a short sample size.
I like the kid, but like, let's pump our brakes a minute.
He's given the Commanders a lot to build off of. Because he could have been the
Yeah,
opposite end of the spectrum, come in looking like hot, wet dumpster juice.
yeah,
Not done that. He's looked well. And
yeah,
he has looked well on a team with a brand new coach, brand new coordinator, in full rebuild mode, who nobody expected to be out of the bottom five of the league. Nobody. And they're leading the division after 4 weeks. A division that should belong to the Eagles,
yes.
challenged by the Dallas Cowboys.
So let's just agree that I don't think the Giants are contending for anything, right? So
They
like
are not.
it's a three-headed monster now.
Well, they are contending to have maybe rookie offensive player of the week several times this year. Let's give them that.
Okay.
Let's give
Uh
them that.
we'll come back to that in a minute. I want to know how his head is, man. He took a little hit in the
He
game last
did.
week.
He took a shot.
Uh
He took a
so
nap on the
who's
field.
who in the division, because no one expected Jaden Daniel to be the best. He's playing the best football in the division, right? If that hurts your feelings, Eagle fans, I'm sorry, right? But like I try to keep it real. I'm not one of these dudes that is going to get overly excited about what happened on Sunday, and I'm not going to get overly excited about that I'm making a statement that Jaden Daniels is playing the best quarterback in the division because it's true. You can't fight it. But who's number four? Who's bringing up the rear, Atticus?
The rear of.
By QBR in the
Oh,
NFC
I don't
East.
remember who the fourth person was. I think it was Geno Smith, wasn't it?
No, no, no. Just in the NFC East. Who is not the four? Who's the worst quarterback in the division? By QBR, not by yards, not by.
I don't know. I haven't looked at maybe Daniel Jones.
No, man. I wouldn't be smiling if it was Jalen, right? Jaden is number 5 in the league, QBR.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurt, Jaden Daniels is number 5. Jalen Hurts is number 11. Daniel Jones is number 14. This is league wide. Dak Prescott is number 16.
No shit.
Shit you not, dude. QBR. And that's really the only stat I like, to be honest, for a
Yeah.
quarterback perspective. It's the tutties to interception ratio, pretty important, right?
Right.
But QBR kind of factors all that in. So, passer rating, everybody gets all goo goo gaga when you got 158.6 passer rating, right? Because they had a perfect game. But like, what's your QBR? And Jaden
Right.
Daniels is 5th in the league. Josh Allen's number 1 at 82. Josh Allen's playing some efficient quarterback, even though they got blown out last night.
Listen, you and I both said Baltimore was going to win that game.
Yeah, we did. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. I thought
I
it was
didn't
going
think
to
it'd be a
be. I
blowout
thought it
either.
was
I
going to
thought
be a
it'd be
shootout.
much. Listen, Baltimore controlled the ball. Initially when Derrick Henry came out and had that 87-yard touchdown run, you was like, okay, that was impressive, but that doesn't really tell you anything about Baltimore's offense against Buffalo's defense. It really doesn't. That's just one play,
Yeah,
right? And then following that, Buffalo marched down the field. They had a really good drive, right? I think it ended in a field goal, though. But they had a really good drive to respond to Derrick Henry's 87-yard gallop.
yeah.
So what I was looking for was how's Baltimore going to perform as an offense methodically going down the field?
Yeah.
They checked every box, bro.
Yeah.
Every single box. Lamar Jackson, he is looking good, bro.
He's looking real good. He's looking like a really strong candidate to repeat as MVP. Like he scares like he's not juking he's putting his head down more often than I'm used to, right?
He's
As far
making good decisions, though.
I'm
And
like,
his
dude.
accuracy has been really impressive.
And they're allowing him to do that, right? They're allowing him to do that. And I'm gonna go off on a tangent, right? Because I know the question's there. Um I've been reading the papers today. I read them all day yesterday, right? I read everything, you know. There's some people saying, is Jalen Hurts the franchise quarterback? I'm just gonna point out a couple things, right? Jalen Hurts is better against the blitz and better in the pocket as a passer this year, right? So he's shown improvement in those two areas. However, whatever they're trying to do to make Jalen Hurts a pocket quarterback, a pocket passer, like that is not his strength. His strength blows me away. When he rushes for 9 or more times a game since 2022, they are 23-3. If he rushes the ball nine or more times. So why are you purposely keeping him in the pocket all the time, especially when you're getting railroaded like they did Sunday? Like his pocket was just collapsing and he missed some open dudes, but he just didn't have the time, right? Not making excuses, but like the reality is you're 23-3 when he rushes the ball. Like it's a weapon. Use it. Like Lamar Jackson, right? Like he runs the ball, nine or more times a game. So use that to your advantage because it's proven to be a winning recipe. Why they're not doing it, I don't fucking know, right? Number two, his passing is significantly different without AJ Brown. I'm not even talking without Devontae Smith. Like literally, he's a 94%. He's a passer rating of 94 with AJ Brown, a passer rating of 85 without AJ Brown. The Eagles overall, without Lane Johnson, are their winning percentage is like 350. I mean, so when you put all of that together, right? Like they were bound to lose to 10, right? What I'm really irritated about though is I think the game plan sucked. I think Sirianni is not the guy. And I don't even know about Vic Fangio anymore. How do you saw the stat? I posted it. 250 yards to zero. That's embarrassing. Now, obviously, they didn't end the game with that, but that's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Um, I just, I think he needs to go and he needs to go now. Make the change over the fucking bye week. Bringing it, elevate Kellen Moore to the interim. Everybody's crying for Belichick. I don't even know if I want Belichick. You
Wait,
know,
wait, wait. So you're saying Sirianni's the problem, not Kellen
yeah,
Moore.
yeah.
You're not saying Fangio's the problem.
He
You're
might be a little bit of a problem.
well, who's calling the plays? Isn't it
That's
Kellen
the
Moore?
question. No, so it was supposed to be, right? But it looks exactly like a Nick Sirianni ball game. It just does. It looks like he maybe he's got override and he's just calling plays. Yeah, I don't like that one. Do this one. I don't fucking know,
Yeah,
right? But I think he's the problem. You
yeah,
know, I just do. Right? It doesn't excuse. The players still got to go out on the field and play the game. And
right,
you got punched in the mouth repeatedly on Sunday.
right.
Repeatedly. Great
The
time for a
final
bye.
score does not give an accurate indication of what that game was either. It
No,
wasn't even that close.
no, no.
And
They got close, right? Like that blocked kick and 2 point
oh
run
yeah.
back,
But that's the thing, Mike, that's
but
what
they
I'm
didn't
saying.
capitalize.
You legitimately scored 9 offensive points.
Yeah.
9.
Mhm.
This game was not that close.
Not close at all. And why are you not using the best weapon on the field until
Why does
until
Saquon only get 10 carries?
until the second half? Like,
I get it. You're playing catch up, but you got to feed him the rock and you got to come up with a game plan. No, that's got to have a heavy dose of Dallas Goddard.
yeah,
You got to find a way to get, I don't know, Saquon Barkley involved in the passing game. Jahan Dotson, you made a big splash picking him up. Gainwell has certainly proven himself to be adequate.
yeah,
John Ross was a giant. He's one of the fastest guys still in the league. You can do some stretch plays, get Paris Campbell open over the middle, do
yeah.
some dump offs, screen passes to Saquon Barkley. I think that Kellen Moore is trying to fit Jalen Hurts into the mold of Dak Prescott because he had a lot of success with him. But Jalen Hurts, as good as he ain't Dak Prescott.
No, and
He
he's a,
is
he's a
not.
completely different player, right?
And forgive me if I'm out of line by saying Kellen Moore's trying to do that. Maybe I don't know what, if Sirianni's calling the plays, because I don't know what's happening. And I don't know if you know this, but there was a controversy with the same topic with New York last year. Who's calling the plays? Is it Dable or is it Kafka? Right? And Dable swore up and down on those games when we won. He didn't call the plays. It fucking looked like it to me. And here we are this year where Dable is absolutely calling plays. I don't
And they
know
look
who's doing what,
decent.
but
They
I'm
look
sorry.
decent. Like that from an offensive standpoint. Now they're not going to light any fires, right? But the Giants look decent under with Dable calling offensive
They
plays.
do. They do. But
You
I
know,
really think that, and I've said this to you before, Mike, and it wasn't in an attempt to throw shade, but the weakest link on the Eagles has been Nick Sirianni.
yeah,
I've said this for maybe 2 years now.
I think since day one, right? I'm going to put another point out there. So last year it was the offensive coordinator who was Brian Johnson. Do you know where Brian Johnson is, the offensive coordinator right now?
No.
Washington.
Wow.
So it's certainly not him.
Wow.
Certainly not him.
And
And what
not
do
for
they let
nothing,
Jaden Daniels do? They let Jaden Daniels play his fucking game.
I like what Jaden Daniels is doing.
You know, it's fun to watch. And like I had to think about this for a second, right? About the whole rushing attempts per game and his record because it's mind blowing. 23-3. I got to say it again. If he rushes the ball 9 or more times, I remember the plays, and they did it a lot, where it was a design run where Hurts dropped back and then just shot through the middle, right? Like, and they did it a lot. I'm not saying that play is still there because the NFL learns, right? Defensive coordinators are pretty fucking smart. They get paid millions of dollars to do that job. They probably figured that out, but you can't figure something else out.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Come on. So I agree, and that's all I really got to say. I said last week, I expected them to be 2-2, right? I thought they had a good shot going into Tampa. I felt
I
good
did too. I
coming
did
off
too.
of,
I
of
mean, you guys got some injuries you're dealing with that really altered your game plan going in there. So
that, and they should have practiced in a sauna,
yeah,
apparently, because Miami certainly did. Those players weren't struggling.
they weren't gassed.
The Eagles were gassed.
They were
We had like
gassed.
5 guys go back and get IVs.
They had yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. And before a hurricane, and I think that's when no, that was at the tail end of it, actually. Yeah, never mind.
It was after it, right?
It
So
was
like
after it. Yeah,
it was really wet and damp for like 4 or 5 days down there, and then the sun just came out,
yeah.
and then it just got humid, and that's what you had to contend with, and they just didn't prepare for it, man.
Well, when is your bye week next week?
Yep,
Yeah, you probably need that right now
it's
too.
a great
We
time
talked
for a
about that
bye.
a little bit before.
I didn't like week 5 bye week. I love week 5 bye week now. Right? They need to straighten it out, man. Lock the fucking door and figure it out. I'm telling you, there's something between Hertz and Sirianni. I said somebody posted this, like they said the same thing happened with Wentz and Peterson, and I don't really remember that all that well. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I had blinders on, but it
Well,
was
they've been
out there.
saying there's been chatter about that, Mike, since the end of the last season.
Yeah, like those.
Sirianni hurts.
Yeah, you know, I just I think that's the problem. I think for whatever
Mhm.
reason they're not on the same page. And Hertz being and this is just my opinion, right? This is just some random dude doing a podcast that nobody watches. Like Hertz's mentality is, I'm going to listen to the coach, right? I don't like this motherfucker, but I'm gonna, I've been a coach's son my whole life, right? Like that's his makeup, that's his DNA, So he hasn't come out and thrown Sirianni under the bus, but he's certainly not said everything smells like roses and rainbows. you know,
Yeah. It's
Something's up.
crazy because we have enough film on Jalen Hurts to know that given the right set of conditions in play selection, he can be dominant. We've
Dominate.
seen it. We've
Dominate.
seen it. Like, what the fuck? Like, can anybody stop this guy? It's a little, Jaden Daniels is playing in a way that's slightly reminiscent of what Jalen Hurts was doing.
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels looks. Can
looks
we talk about
good.
this kid for a minute? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
let's do
what
it.
the fuck, bro?
Let's do
What
it.
the fuck? I mean, his numbers are gaudy. I believe they went 3 games before we saw their punter because they had, was it 16 scoring drives in a row? I don't remember the number, but it was
It,
impressive.
it was impressive. So he's number one in completion percentage. He's number 10 in total yards. He's only got 3 TDs, so there's that, right? I mean, that is what it is.
But
You know,
those
I
three
mean,
TDs were impressive. And let's not
impressive.
forget, he's got a 2-point conversion in there, which doesn't count in the TD, but he threw it into the end zone to convert, which they should count that differently. But I guess it is what it is in that regard.
Yeah, and like I said, he's number 5 in QBR. Overall rating, number 3. In passer rating, he's number 3. QBR, he's number 5. Like he's fucking good.
We didn't even talk about how good he looked against the Bengals. We didn't
Yeah.
even talk about that.
No. We didn't even talk about the fact that he called the fourth down play. He said, "We're
Uh-huh.
going for it." He waved the coach off. Said, "We're going for it." The
Just very impressive way
cojones.
to start your career.
It's really good, right? Like I mean, I don't like to see it obviously because he's a Commander's quarterback, right? But it's good to see a young kid come out and playing really well.
And not for nothing, he's got like very good pocket awareness. He's not getting sacked I mean, against the Giants, he got sacked 5 times, twice against the Bengals, 0 times against the Cardinals. He's seeing the field the way you want your quarterback to see it. He goes from his first, second, and third read effortlessly. And if nothing's there, he tucks it and picks up a couple of positive yards. And his escapability is Carson Wentz-ish,
Yeah.
where you're in his grasp and you just can't pull a guy down, and he turns it into a 7-yard run. Is I'm impressed, man, to a degree that I didn't expect to be. I certainly don't want to be that impressed about a in division rival player, right? But
Somebody got to play twice a
I'm a
year.
football fan
Got
too,
to play
right?
twice a year, damn it.
I know. I mean, like we're football fans, so we can
Yeah.
see and appreciate
Yeah.
that for the talent. But
Fuck you, Chicago. You should have taken Daniels. Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God. Like
You
what a
know?
pick, man. And then
Hey,
I was given no credit to Cliff Kingsbury. I thought he was going to be a train wreck. He dismantled his old team. Did 42-14. Isn't that the head coach that was your defensive Shane Steichen?
yeah.
What was his name? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
He's
the
not
head
good.
coach.
He's not good.
As a head coach, he's not good.
As a head
He's a
coach.
good DC,
Oh
but
yeah.
I think some guys should not, like Steve Spagnuolo. You
Yeah.
should be a DC for the rest of your career.
That's it.
Shane Steichen, DC for the rest of your career.
That's your role.
That's your role, right? Like some guys should not be elevated from a position that gained them their notoriety.
Yeah.
However, I used to think the same thing about I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, the head coach of the Washington Commanders, but look at him. He's
Dan
looking
Quinn.
good. Dan Quinn. I thought the same thing about Dan Quinn because when he had that stint as the head coach, what was it? The Lions he was the head coach of? He looked like dog shit.
I think it
No, it
was
was
the
the Falcons.
Falcons.
It was
The
the
Falcons.
Falcons. He was not a very good head coach, in my opinion. He lasted 6 years, but I
He
didn't
was
think he
also the
was
coach of probably the most epic collapse in a Super Bowl.
right. I didn't think he was that
Hard
good.
to come
I
back
thought he
from
was
that.
the benefit of talent, having a talent-laden offense, the same way Sirianni's the benefit of having a talent-laden offense,
Yep.
the same way some would argue with Belichick. He had a Tom Brady. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm going to give Belichick a lot of credit because he was the coach for 20 years and got 6 rings, right? But some would say that with Dan Quinn. But now, guys got a team they got a winning formula. And not for nothing, he was in the meetings and probably had a big say in who he wanted his OC to be, his DC to be. Now you're saying that the guy who was your OC in Philly, he's what, the quarterback's coach now
No, I
in
think he's the
Washington?
offensive coordinator.
I thought that was Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He is current team. Ah, see, someone got me. Someone got me. No, he is on the Washington Commanders.
He might be their quarterback's coach, right?
Let's
Because
see.
he was Jalen Hurts quarterback coach, elevated to OC.
He is the assistant head coach and the offensive passing game coordinator
Okay. Okay.
for the Washington Commanders.
So he's the quarterback's coach. That's just a fancy way of saying it.
Yeah, but he was the fucking problem last year. And
Hmm.
maybe that's like maybe he's a good quarterback coach and just can't scheme an offense, but I don't think so. I think that Sirianni has been calling the plays the whole time.
Yeah, well, both can be true,
You
right?
know, yeah, you know. But I mean, it's working with Jaden Daniels, and it looks like it's working really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like what Washington is doing. Um, I mean, I think that they have found a way to get the most out of each of their positions. Look at Zach Ertz, bro. Looking like Zach Ertz of old, right? Like he got the Brian Robinson looks amazing coming out of the
Always,
backfield.
I love that dude, and it's really hard for me to say that about an in division rival, right? But like, not only did he come back from getting shot, right? Because let's not forget that this dude got shot a
Yes,
year
he
ago.
did.
You know,
Yes, he
shot.
did.
But like just the way he runs, like he's angry, and I like that out of a running back. If you're not going to be Barry Sanders esque and like had that Saquon had a move yesterday, dude. Like my ankles broke watching it, right? Like I was like, what the
You
fuck?
needed an Advil from the replay.
What is this? Is ridiculous. And then he just goes
He's
right.
that dude, though.
He is that dude. He is
Yeah.
that dude. But Brian Johnson is like, where's the hole? Let me
Brian
go.
Robinson.
Brian Robinson, let me go.
Yeah, he's
Boom.
looking really good. And you know what? In order to have a really good passing game, you got to be able to have play action, and that builds off a good running back. And he has been, oh my, bro, he turns what should be a 1 yard gain into five,
Yeah.
into six.
Yeah.
And he's doing it. Oh my God. Listen, I'm a Giants fan, okay? You you know who I am as a fan,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And for me to be as complimentary of Jaden Daniels as I am, it's only because of my love of football. It has nothing to do with me trying to big up some division rival. Fuck that. But I'm really impressed with not just what he's doing, but what the coordinators are doing, what the teams are doing, because it takes all 11 guys to engineer 3 games with no punts. 3 games with no punts. That's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like that, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I know.
And then some of the play selections, like you said, Jaden Daniels is the one who said no, we're going for it on fourth
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
right? And to give your trust to a rook like that. Now, granted, if it's week 13 and there are playoff implications, you're probably not listening to your rookie at that time, right? You're in a
Kind of hard not
rebuild,
to now. You know what I mean? Kind of
right?
hard not to now.
Well, yeah, right. But I'm just saying, it's like given the positioning in the schedule, we're early in the season. You know you're in rebuild mode. You want to see what you got. He's already shown you some stuff that's making you smile. Okay, let's see what you got, Rook. And he delivered. He delivered. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the NFC East this year. I think that the Eagles can absolutely turn around. We do need to talk about the Giants and the Cowboys, but I think that, and as impressive as Washington has looked, it's hard for me to say that they're not going to continue on the trajectory that they have appeared to have set themselves up for. However, they've given me no reason to doubt it either, right?
Right. Right.
Because the defense has been matching the offensive intensity to the same level. So both sides of the ball are playing well. We haven't seen enough of their special teams to even know who they are because they're never on the field. However, they've been playing well. But Dallas, I got questions, man.
I got a
I don't
lot of
think
questions.
Dallas is I don't think Dallas is good as Dallas thinks they are, which we all knew. And I don't think that I don't think that they should have the respect that they still have in different pockets of the football world because they've shown me nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. I agree, right? And
Come in.
I watched the post game interview, and CeeDee Lamb was getting interviewed. And the one thing that I didn't like was too much I, not enough we, right? Not
Right.
not enough team. Not enough team. This was a team win. It was this, that, and the other thing. It was all a me, me, me thing, right? And on the other side of the ball, Micah Parsons kind of plays the same way. It's like these two dudes who are super talented, right? Like they are top tier players at their positions, but they think everybody is less than and they have to coach everybody up. Well, that's not your fucking job, bro. Be a leader. I don't think they have leaders
Right.
on the team at all.
Right.
I just don't. And if there was anybody that was going to be a leader, it would be Dak. But Dak has a history of coming up short when it matters.
Yes,
And,
he does.
players know that. So are they really following? I don't think so. I just don't. I think they're dysfunctional. And I don't
Yeah.
think they have enough talent outside of their top three paid players at all. They just don't, they lost like 11 starters, bro, you know, from last season. That's significant.
Their secondary is not what it was. They have two new rookie offensive linemen. Their defensive line is aging. They have what do they have? Two rookie linebackers.
I think so.
It is not the same Dallas Cowboys team. And I don't know that the moves that I don't know that they've adapted to the new play callers in their offensive and defensive scheme.
Yeah.
And I would dare say the Giants had every opportunity to beat that team. They just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. They had five scoring drives,
They
five of them.
should they should have won that ball.
And one of the scoring drives was ended by one of the most egregious penalties I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that penalty?
Nah.
They called the tight end for the Giants,
Oh,
their
yeah, yeah, yeah,
driver.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that.
They called the face mask on him.
Yeah.
It was his face mask was the one.
Yeah.
Never seen anything like that in my life.
It's
That's a
almost
30
like they
yard
were wearing
swing.
it's almost like they were wearing Kansas City Chief uniforms,
Almost.
you know?
That was so, but whatever.
I mean, that's a pivotal moment. right?
That's a pivotal moment.
You
That
know,
was a
like
big deal.
we like to talk shit with each other, and we like to say, "Quit making fucking excuses," this, that, the other thing. But the reality is that that's a pivotal moment, right? Like that call changes the momentum and the direction of the game. You know, they still had plenty of other opportunities. They got to score tutties.
Gotta
Like
score
that's
touchdowns.
that's what it boils down to.
You know what I'll say? If we're going to talk a little bit about the Giants, what I'll say, I've already accepted that we are in the pit of mediocrity and forever how long that takes,
Yeah,
whatever it's going to be. However, I will say, first of all, Neighbors is just a problem. I don't give a fuck who he's playing. You will know Daniel Jones is going to throw the ball to him 15 times, and Malik Neighbors is going to catch 12 of them, even
yep,
though you know it, period.
yep,
It's just how it is. Um, I really like the Giants running back room. I really like Brian Dable as the play caller. I had a very difficult time with Shane Bowen, but he's starting to grow on me a little bit. But I am highly disappointed in Brian Burns. I'm highly disappointed in Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm just as happy about Andrew Thomas as I've been and Dexter Lawrence as I've been. I'm very happy with Illuminor at the right tackle position. I'm happy with our offensive line, right? There's reasons for me as a Giants fan who has endured soul torture for a decade. I have reasons to feel optimistic. I think Daniel Jones is not a franchise quarterback, but he's my quarterback, and I'm going to support the guy while he's on the field. But I do think that you can win games with him if you got the right game plan called. And I also think that you better not rush into drafting another quarterback. You better draft a guy that you want. Brian Dable wanted Jaden Daniels. He said it in Hard Knocks. When Shane asked him, "Who do you want?" He said, "I want Jaden Daniels." And they didn't show this, but I am sure they made a call to Washington to
oh
see
yeah.
if they can. And Washington was like, "Fuck you. We're taking that guy." I think the Giants did the right thing by not signing a quarterback that they didn't believe in. You don't believe in a guy, don't get him. Don't get them.
Yeah,
Build the other pieces that you need. I like the pieces that they've built. Brian Burns better show me more though. I like the pieces that they've brought in, right?
yeah.
Next year, if there's a guy coming out, you got Shador Sanders. Is Carson Beck coming out next year?
You got Sanders, you got Beck, you got Milrow from Alabama.
Milrose from Alabama, who looked really good. Now,
He's looked good every game.
if one of those guys is your guy, you get your guy.
You go get him.
You go get
You
him.
go get him.
But if the guy you wanted is gone, because you know Carolina picking one, you
Oh
already
yeah.
know that, right? And you know
Yep.
they're going to be in position to pick one,
Oh yeah.
right? If they pick the guy you wanted, hey, look, the Jets might be in position because I don't know if Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. The way he's looked, I don't know.
I don't think he should.
I don't think he should either. I think Father Time has caught up with him, right?
It's Father Time or playing for the Jets. I think the Jets are just cursed at quarterback.
Well, one of the two. One of the
Like
two.
I mean,
And quiet as
Sam
kept.
Darnold. Sam Darnold is the leader in the MVP race right now. 4 weeks
And
into
they
the
have
season.
no, Penix is in
No,
Atlanta.
they got JJ McCarthy.
They got JJ McCarthy, right.
But JJ's sitting for a while when he comes back.
But listen, I'm gonna say one other thing. Cleveland might be eating a whole lot of fucking dead cat
Oh yeah.
and moving on from Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah.
He ain't been nothing but a headache, a distraction, and wrecking their franchise. Motherfucking
He's not that
Joe
good anymore,
Flacco
man.
looked better. Joe Flacco looked better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, yeah,
And they paid that man what, 240 was it? All
guaranteed,
guaranteed?
all guaranteed,
So my point that
all
I'm making
guaranteed.
is this. If Dable, and I believe Dable can pick the guy. If Dable sees the guy he wants and coming out of next year's draft, you get him. If you don't, you got this guy under contract anyway. You keep him another year. And you know that it's going to come with the memes and the this and the, but you build your team some more. If you can't get your guy, get fucking Hooker if he's coming out. Hooker probably going to be the number one pick if my money's on it, right? But get your guy. And if you can't get your guy, you get the other pieces that you need. So when the guy you want is available, because they're only going to get one more year to do that, maybe two. And then when you can get your guy, that's when you do it.
So here's the deal with Deshaun Watson. This is ugly, bro. So this year's gone. We're in 2024. If they had cut him before June 1st, it would have been a $200 million dead cap hit. $200 million. If they cut him after this season, it's $172 million. 172 million. If they wait until the following year, it's 99. It's 100 mil.
That's probably what they're waiting for.
After that, it goes down to 26 mil. Right. So, like, we're talking, he would need to play this season. He would need to play this season plus two more seasons to get it under 100 mil for a dead
I
cap hit.
guarantee you they've had those discussions though.
Now, if they do it before June 1st next year, I think it's less 99 million, right? And then I don't understand how to read that. I got to be better versed in that, right? I'm going to cut that part out. But it's a lot of fucking money.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money that they have on the table. They got to cut him.
I don't know that they have an option because they got to sell tickets and nobody wants to see him play.
No one wants to see him play, and their defense is getting older, right? Like, they're still good. Don't get me wrong, but like they're not what they were last year. I mean, they were a wrecking ball on defense last year. That's how they won most of their games.
Yeah.
But it's not happening. Jesus. Prorated signing bonus. I mean, he's just due some money. He's due
And
$72
Dallas, what are they
million
gonna do?
next year. $72 million he's due next season.
Wow.
They don't have. How are you supposed to fill out your team if your quarterback's taking up $72 million? 23% of the cap. Jumps to 25% of the cap the following season
Hmm.
for one guy that's not doing it. That's wild.
Lions is just thumping. I mean, yeah, they're thumping Seattle.
Are they?
Yeah, 14 nothing.
All right. Well, I mean, it's in
We
Detroit.
both called that too.
It's in Detroit.
Well, they fumbled the ball in their own red zone. The Seahawks. I don't know who fumbled. Can we talk about the cliff that Miami fell off of when Tua went down? Have you ever seen a sharper decline of an entire franchise?
Do you even know the name of their quarterback right now?
No, I don't.
Because I don't.
I know Levis is the quarterback of the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who Miami's quarterback is. Now I got to go look. Right. But I don't know who
Do
Miami's
some
quarterback
recon,
is.
Mike. Who is he?
Right. I mean, they're playing the Titans right now. I mean, 6-3, dude. 6-3 that game. Jalen Waddle, 2 receptions for 18 yards. Will Levis left the game after diving for a first down. That's great for them.
How about Trevor Etienne for Bama? He looked pretty good.
Brothers kind of work out at running back, man. The Cooks did it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
now
he
now
looked
you
pretty good.
yeah, he looked pretty good.
Wait a minute. He didn't play for Bama. He played for
No, he plays for Bama.
was
He
it
doesn't play
Bama?
for he doesn't play for Georgia.
I watched Rutgers and who were they playing? West Virginia, was it?
He definitely doesn't play for West Virginia.
No, no. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who Rutgers was playing. I watched some of that game and I watched the Alabama Georgia game. Oh no, it's Georgia, wasn't it? No, it was probably Bama. You're right. It's probably Bama.
It might be Georgia.
Was
It's
it
Georgia.
Georgia?
It's Georgia.
Okay. Okay. That was a pretty good game.
Oh, Huntley is in at quarterback. Okay.
Huntley's not bad though. He was a Baltimore Raven,
Yeah.
and then actually he's been in Tennessee for a minute though, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's I don't know where he's been, but he's a starting quarterback for Miami tonight.
Yeah, I think he was in Baltimore and then he went to Tennessee or in the reverse order.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, Huntley wasn't bad. He just, some guys just never get a chance. They're behind somebody who they're just capable, and they're behind a starter who is pretty durable and probably not going to get much playing time.
Your starting quarterbacks in the Tennessee Titan Miami Dolphin game right now. That Will Levis is out. Who's starting quarterback for Tennessee right now? Who's in the game?
I have no idea.
Mason Rudolph.
No shit.
Like,
Hey, at least he stayed in the AFC.
hey, can't make this shit up, man. Can't make this shit up.
Uh,
Let's go
that's
back to
funny.
Washington real quick because, and then then we can go wherever. But so they're 3-1. They got the Browns next week.
Let's do our picks while we and segue right into that.
All right. You want to run through next week's games, or you want to run through all of Washington?
No, I don't want to spend too much time on Washington.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck Washington.
Fuck them.
See, and now injuries are a factor,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
We're
apparently, if it's 108 degrees on the fucking playing field,
apparently,
and you didn't prepare for that, and I don't. I mean, the hurricane might have had something to do with that, but even if they got to Florida like a few days early, it was a storm, so it wasn't 95 with 100% humidity.
right? Yeah.
So it wasn't that.
Well,
So it
usually
wouldn't.
that's why I was saying usually leading in, you'll feel that,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
But
you got to
coming out of it,
prepare.
I thought it'd be different.
I don't
Maybe
even
they
know how
did
you
too.
prepare
Shit.
for that though, right? Other than just turn off the ventilation in the dome that you practice in, whatever practice field you play in, turn the ventilation off, man, and just steam it up.
Yeah.
you know, we're conditioning today. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was the coach, I'd do that Monday anyway.
Yeah. No doubt.
You know, so next Thursday or this Thursday, we got Tampa Bay at Atlanta.
Good game.
Good
Good
game.
game. I'm going Bijan, man. I mean, I like what the Buccaneers are doing. I really like the way that Baker Mayfield found himself a home. He is very comfortable in that offense and that system and he's played up to, whatever standard he set for himself.
Yeah,
And you gotta like what the kid's doing. But I do like Atlanta. And I like Raheem Morris as the head coach too. I like his aggressive mentality. He don't fuck around. So
yeah.
and not for nothing, I think Kirk Cousins has played well. I
Let's
think
not
that
forget he's coming off of an Achilles injury too, right? Or was it an ACL? Either
I
one
don't
is pretty
remember what
fucking
it was,
serious.
but he is coming off an injury. But And
You
they're at
know,
home. I'm going Atlanta.
I'm going Atlanta too, right?
And
And
I
I
like their
think
defense.
I like Tampa Bay. Um, I think that this division is going to be tough, right? Because I wasn't expecting New Orleans, even though they've come back down to earth a little bit, 2 weeks in a row. Atlanta has looked consistent each week. You know, they've lost some games, they've won some games, but they've looked consistent.
I agree. 100%.
Um, and I like their defense. And I told you when they were playing the Birds, like Bijan scares me. I'm not worried about Kirk Cousins. I should have been, but I wasn't, right? Um, so Bijan Robinson, I think Kirk Cousins get a little bit more comfortable each week. I think they win the game. Uh, Baker's still a little too erratic for me, right? Not erratic to the point like they're going to be 9-8, 8-9. Like they'll be 10-7, 11-6, right? Like that's who they are. I think they're that good of a ball team, you know. But we'll see what happens when it gets colder,
Yeah,
you
right.
know. New York Jets at Minnesota.
So I think I'm gonna see we're all going to see Sam Darnold get his first loss of the year. I do think so. I
Okay.
think the Jets defense is still scary good. I think that the way they lost last week they missed a field goal and the other team makes a field goal to win in MetLife. I think that there were so many um and I don't know if you saw the press conference after the game, but there's an issue with Aaron Rodgers and um I can't think of his name, the head coach of the New York Jets. But there's in Eric Sala. There's a rift between the two. Aaron Rodgers knows how to run an NFL offense. And Sala wants him to do things that does not align with what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. And Aaron Rodgers knows how to win. And that came to a head this past week. 5 false start penalties, 5 of them. That should not happen.
Mm-mm.
I'll give you two, but five should
Yeah.
not happen. And Salah had something to say about Aaron Rodgers' hard counts and having his guys set and knowing when not to do it. And Rodgers said in his post-game press conference, look, we practice this. These guys need to be accountable and do the shit right.
Yeah.
Basically, is what he said.
Yeah.
Salah's like, maybe we don't need to do that anymore. And Aaron Rodgers didn't like that
No.
because that's in his playbook. However, I think they fixed this shit. Whether they fixed the problem with Salah and Rodgers or not, they're going to fix that problem. And I think because they're on a neutral playing field, this is one of those overseas games on one of those fucked up fields in another part of the world. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to beat the Minnesota Vikings. They're not in a comfy dome with good footing and motherfuckers over there talking about skull. I think that Darnold is going to see the New York Jets uniforms out there. He's going to go into some sort of post-traumatic stress and look like Sam Darnold that we've all grown to know. Jets are going to win this game.
I'm going the other way. I think Minnesota will get their comeuppance, right? But I don't think it's this week, right? Like I think they found lightning in a bottle right now, and it's working, right? And I think that Sam Darnold lights up the Jets.
Sauce Garner, 2 picks.
All
Calling
right,
it.
all right. Well, all right, Sam Darnold 5 tutties. If he's got 5 tutties with 2 picks, I'll take that all day. Unless they're both pick sixes. Um, Carolina and Chicago. Good Lord. Do it. Let's just move on. Let's just move on.
You think the
Baltimore,
gingerbread man can't get it? He can't get it?
dude.
Caleb Williams was a hoax?
Caleb Williams. Well, they won. So they won the ball game, right? But like he still did not look impressive at all. They have a really good defense in Chicago. So be thankful for that. And like his post game celebration running into the tunnel after the game, he looked like a kid who has Tourette's and enjoys and is super happy about having Tourette's. Right? I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like what are you doing? What are you doing? He's a weird cat. Let's just say that. Like he's a weird dude.
Different breed, huh?
He is a weird dude. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, and it's I say a lot when it comes to Caleb Williams because I just don't believe in Pac-12 quarterbacks, right? I just they play a high flying offense with no defense out there on the West, right? And when you put them up against real defenses and now NFL defenses, you have this almost pedestrian like quarterback. So I mean, I think they win a game, but I mean that's a coin flip. That's a coin flip to me. Carolina and Chicago were playing for the number 2 pick in the draft. Um, Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Wait a minute, I didn't pick from between
Oh,
those two.
go ahead, go ahead.
I think I'm gonna go. Um, I'm gonna go Caleb Williams and the Browns. The Browns. I'm gonna go with the Bears on that one.
Oh, the
And
Browns
the
wish they
only
had
reason
Caleb
I'm picking
Williams.
them is because they're at home. That's it. You like the SEC guys, huh?
I like SEC guys and Big Ten guys, right?
Big Ten
Quarterback,
SEC.
you
Okay.
know, uh, I kind of like. I mean, even Oregon players, right? Like look at Herbert can sling the fucking ball like nobody's business. Dude always plays hurt too,
I
right?
know.
But like, when have you seen like a legit top tier quarterback out of the Pac-12?
Right.
Probably not since Andrew Luck.
Right.
You know, even Josh Allen. Where'd he go? Wyoming? That's not Pac-12. Like he's like some golden nugget you find in the side of the fucking mountain somewhere, right? Like that's what Josh Allen is.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold's starting to prove me wrong. Sam Darnold's, I'd like to,
Stanford guy.
yeah, no, Sam Darnold was USC,
Ah, USC. Yes, he
USC.
was. Yes, he was.
Break that mold of bad quarterbacks that have come out of there.
Yes, he was.
Um, Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Hey, listen, I think Cincy's the best 1-3 team in the league. I think Baltimore is a juggernaut. Um, I'm gonna call the upset here. I'm gonna pick Cincinnati. And I can see Baltimore winning by a touchdown, though. I can. But I think that Cincy is due. The way that the freaking Commanders dismantled them was impressive yet unbelievable. But listen, Burrow had a game. Chase had a game, right? They played well, but the Ravens are the number one offense in the league. They got the number one rushing attack. They have a very competent defense. I just I think the Bengals are due. I think they're due. I'm gonna pick Cincy.
Cincinnati is the. This is. I'm going to take Cincy as well, right? We talked about them last week, right? Like they take 3 or 4 weeks to get rolling every year,
Old Buicks.
but they're gonna win 6 out of the next 7, and I think this is one of those wins. I think that they're at home. I mean, Baltimore just thrashed Buffalo, thrashed, and I don't see that happening to Cincinnati. So I'm gonna go with Cincy in this one too.
Okay.
This is turning out to be a bad game. Miami and New England.
I'm going New England.
Do we know when Tua's coming back?
Is Tua coming back?
I don't know.
We've
We've
listen.
heard nothing. other than him saying he's not retiring after, like the day
Here's the
after.
thing. Here's the thing, Mike. He won't be the same even when he does come back.
That's true.
He's going to hear and see ghosts every play now. He is forever changed. He went through a transformative experience in that latest concussion. He is going to make business decisions
Hmm.
every play from now on.
Hmm.
He is not the same.
Not the same.
I mean, my heart goes out to the guy, but he is not the same.
No,
How could he be?
I think he should retire.
I
You
do
know,
too.
I thought he should have retired after the last one.
I've never seen anybody get a concussion like him.
Not on the football field, right? Like we I've seen it in the UFC octagon, you know, where dudes are getting hit in the head with like an inch of padding between your fist and your head, you know, and that's not even to say the head kicks, right? The head kicks are fucking nasty. Where there's no padding, and you take a shin to the dome and you just you're done. Like that's the only place I've seen that, man. I'm not seeing it on the football field. I've seen people
Right.
go limp, immediately, but not like stiffen up like that. That's just not good. So I'm taking New England. Cleveland at Washington.
So normally I'd be struggling with this one, but Jaden has changed that. Washington by 14.
So I'm going to go the other way, even though we just talked about Deshaun Watson and the struggles there. Vegas has the line at 3 right now for Washington. Vegas knows what they're doing, right? You got all this fucking fanfare out there for Jaden Daniels. You think that would add a few extra points to that spread. I are they trying to entice people to fucking take Cleveland? They got me. I'm taking Cleveland. You know,
Okay.
it's time for that defense to show up. They're not
Okay.
old. You know
I
what
ain't
I
mad
mean?
at you.
They're not old. It's not like Miles Garrett is not an old dude.
No,
JOK is
he's a
not an old dude.
monster.
Their secondary are not old players, right? Like they have ball players. Figure it out, right? Get it together. And I don't think their defense has really been playing that bad. Like, what are they giving up a game? I don't even know, right? But anyway, I'll figure that out. We'll come back to it. Indianapolis at Jacksonville.
Um, so Anthony Richardson, I really wish I got to see him play more. I have not. But what I do know is the Jaguars are a dumpster fire next to an abandoned train station. They're bad. They're
Yeah.
bad. So, but I also, they're 0 and 4. They're better than 0 and 4. They're bad. But are they 0 and 4 bad?
Are they
I
0
mean,
and
you are with your
4?
record. Yeah.
Who's 0 and 4? The Jaguars?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Are they 0 and 4 bad though?
I don't
I
think
don't know that
so.
they're 0 and 4 bad. And what's Vegas saying about this game? Got them even.
Jacksonville 3. I
We're
mean,
giving
so
Jacksonville 3
I know you're not a gambling guy.
at
3 points is pretty much, when you're the home team, you get 3 points.
right.
So Jacksonville -3 is essentially is the home field advantage,
Hmm.
right?
I
I
think
don't
the
think
Colts are
that's
going to beat
enough.
them. The Colts
To,
should have beat Pittsburgh. They did beat Pittsburgh.
yeah,
I think the Colts are going to beat them.
I don't
And
think.
Joe Flacco
Yeah,
came in for Anthony Richardson and looked good.
and he might come back again. Anthony Richardson looked hurt, you
Hmm.
know. he just a bad hit, dude. Just a bad hit. But I agree with you, right? Like Joe Flacco could come in and ball, you know, throw for I mean, Jesus did it in Cleveland last year.
Mhm.
Balled. Why
Yep,
not?
I'm going Indy.
All right.
No problem doing it either.
Here's another good one. Buffalo and Houston.
Why you think that's a good one?
I think Houston's a good team. It's in Houston. Houston pulled out a late win with CJ Stroud throwing a touchdown. I think Buffalo's better than they played last night. I think these are two of the top playoff teams in the AFC.
I agree.
So should be interesting. Can Buffalo bounce back? I mean, Houston has had they almost went 0 for 2 in the last 2 weeks. All right. So I think that winning that game the way they did and then having another home game is pretty good, but I don't want to play Buffalo after they get spanked.
Right. That's what my thoughts were, but Houston's got a top 10 offense, a top 10 defense. You know what happened the last time they played? These two teams were matched up.
What, like 9-3 or something?
Buffalo 40, Houston 0. That ain't gonna happen again. I do think Buffalo's gonna win this game,
I'm calling
although
it, man.
I would
I'm,
say Houston is a more complete team than Buffalo, but Buffalo has a Josh Allen,
when
an
was that
angry
game?
Josh Allen.
When was that game? Was that last year?
21, 3 years
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
It was a
So
different team.
Houston's a completely different ball team.
This is a different team, different everything, but
I think Buffalo puts a 40 burger on them, though.
I do too. I think Buffalo's going to have a game. They're going to show out in a dome. They're going to show out. They should have won last week. Well, actually, they shouldn't have won last week. They just, before they can even get started, they were playing from behind. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I think Buffalo's going to win that game, though.
All right. Vegas and the Broncos.
Do we have to pick this one?
Yeah, we do. It's at Denver too. Like, when did they win the game last night? What was it? 9-7 or something like
Nine to
that?
seven. Bo Nix put up, he had 60 passing yards the whole game. How do you even do that? And win?
I think the Raiders win this game.
I'm taking the Raiders too.
I'm picking the Raiders every
I don't have
week just
no
because I
big
like,
Knicks
I just
energy.
like their coach that much. I don't, I think offensively they have some shortcomings, but I think that I just think they win in Denver. Sorry, Bruce.
Same.
Sorry. Uh, Arizona and San Fran.
You know, Arizona got their cheeks clapped. Clapped. And they had no answer at no time. Part of it, I think, is Kingsbury. He knew their tendencies and shared information. He shared some information with the DCs in Washington and knew exactly what to do. But I don't know. I think San Fran is just better coached. They got better all around players. They're at home. I think San Francisco is going to win that game. There's nothing in me
I think
that
it's
could even come up with an intelligent reason why Arizona should win.
no, San Fran's going to win by double digits. That's what's going to happen, right? We started out this whole podcast, you know, polishing Jaden Daniels' fucking ego a lot, right?
We
And we
did.
talked about, through the first 4 games as a rookie, he's got the highest completion percentage ever, right? Number 2 was Tom Brady. Or no, he was number 3. No, he was number 2. Geno Smith was number 3.
Geno Smith was three.
And Kyler
which
Murray
I did not remember. Kyler
was
Murray. That's
was number
right.
4,
That's right.
right? We all see what happens to Kyler Murray, right? If he can't get the ball to Marvin Harrison, they are not that good. I'm just saying it right now, right? I just don't see it. So is Jaden Daniels going to be Kyler Murray, or is he going to be Tom Brady, or somewhere, or is he going to be Geno Smith? I think somewhere. I think he's better than Geno Smith at this. This is 4 games in, man. This is all just fucking magic, fairy pixie dust, right? Um, I think that Kyler Murray is not that good court, and San Francisco eats him for lunch.
I agree.
Green Bay at the LA Rams.
I like Green Bay in this game.
Yeah, me too.
I think Green Bay's defense is a little underrated.
Yeah,
I think that Jordan Love, um, it took him a minute to get back to form after that injury he suffered against the Eagles week 1. But I think he's back, and that he almost engineered an incredible comeback
yeah,
yesterday, and
yep.
he looked good doing it. So I have no reason to doubt that they're not going to continue to perform at the level that they did to finish last week on the ugly side of a loss.
Mhm.
I'm taking and listen, this is in no way to slight the Rams. It's the Rams they're playing, right?
And they're playing the Rams.
Yeah, yeah. There's no
Uh,
way intended to slight them. I just think that Green Bay is going to they're going to beat them in a nice stadium. And the Rams is a good 1-3 team. I just think that the Packers have too much more.
I'm selling on the Rams, right? Like if for now, not for the whole season, but if I remember last year, they had some injuries. They got a slow start, almost Cincinnati-esque, right? And then they made a nice little run and finished the season strong, right? And they're in that point though. And I think Green Bay, second game back for Jordan Love, they are legitimately one of the better teams in the NFL. They were down 28-0 and were a heartbeat away from coming back in that game, right? Um, so and I believe that was in Minnesota. So they're in hostile territory while that's happening. Um, I think going to LA, I think Jordan Love's at home in Southern California. You know, I just do.
Hmm.
I got Green Bay all day.
Cool.
Dallas at Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh wins that game. Pittsburgh is a hard place to lose.
Yeah,
It's just, have you been to that stadium?
no,
I've been to games in Pittsburgh several times. I've been to night games at Pittsburgh. That place be rocking is something about a game at if for a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in Pittsburgh, they're tough, tough, tough to beat. And Dallas has way too many question marks. The one question mark I had about Pittsburgh going into the season was the quarterback position, and they answered that. Justin Fields is playing well.
he's
Okay.
balling.
He listen, he did not have um a stellar game by any means yesterday. He did enough to win the game, even though they lost the game. He played well. He
Okay,
played very well. He started off slow, but then when he got it together, he got it together. In fact, Justin Fields, in my opinion, has played so well, he ended the quarterback controversy. You can't put Russell Wilson in the game now. And Dallas just has way too many questions, not enough answers, too many injuries, too many new people. Dallas is a fucking mess waiting to happen.
hmm
I'm going Pittsburgh.
I'm going to agree with you. and I'm going to take it a step further. You said he didn't have like 22 or 34 for 312 and a touchdown. Got sacked four
And he
times.
ran for one.
That and he ran for
He ran for two.
two. 5 yards a carry, 10 rushes, 55 yards, 5 yards a carry, two touchdowns, 9 yards average a throw, 312 yards. That's
At
that's the
home.
recipe for Justin Fields.
At home.
And the defense, they've been playing a 3-4 defense since I was born, right? And it's just it's not you can't do anything about it. Like it is what it is. And it's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
And they will stop. Dallas can't run the ball.
Unless they're playing the Giants.
Yeah. So they're in trouble. I think Pittsburgh wins the game.
I do too.
That hurts me to say that too out loud. You know,
Well, but it's against Dallas, so
it is, but
that makes up for it.
you're not well, you live with a Steeler fan, right? But I am surrounded by Yinzers, right? I love walking around town with my Eagle hat on, and the random Eagle fan in town be like, go Birds. And I'll be like, go Birds. It's fun. No one does it, but man, it's so nice when you do it out here in the
I,
Western
I feel you.
PA. Who else we got? New York Giants at Seattle.
This is going to be a homer pick for me. I'm going to pick New York because I think each week they have gotten better. I think two of their losses could have easily been victories for them. I think this is the week where a close game results in their favor in the win column. I'm going to go New York.
I'm going to go to what you said earlier. You're disappointed with Brian Burns and you're disappointed with Kayvon Thibodeau. I am too. If there was anything that I was not looking forward to this year season to play twice a year, I thought the Giants defense was going to be a little bit more formidable.
Mm, me
They're
too.
not, they're not. And Seattle's getting thumped by Detroit right now. We'll see how that game plays out. But that's in Detroit. Go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna give Seattle the nod,
Hmm.
right? Because it's in Seattle. I think it's a tight ball game, right? Like I don't think Gino can't put up. He's not that dude. Well, he can, right? That's disadvantageous to
Last
say
year
about
he put
Gino.
up some nice numbers,
He
man. He
did.
played well.
But he's not putting up a 40 burn, on a consistent basis. I think he
Right.
can, right? I don't think they've ever just cut him loose, like that. So, I see a tight ball game, but I think Seattle wins.
Yeah. What's the line on that? Or they don't have one yet?
They right now they got Seattle at 6. It's
Okay.
pretty hefty. That's a pretty hefty line.
Okay.
You know, pretty hefty line. Monday Night Football, New Orleans at Kansas City.
Well, I'm not one to I really hate to make excuses and shit, but the officiating that the Kansas City Chiefs enjoy is different than the rest of what the league enjoys. And it's so blatantly obvious that it's angering and it shouldn't be allowed in football anyway, but they're playing in Kansas City. Kansas City does have a really good defense. Patrick Mahomes, while they won yesterday, they really didn't look good doing it, as far as I'm concerned. But at home, they play really well. They play well, and if there's a call that's going to go in a certain direction, it's going to go in the Chiefs' direction. I'm going Chiefs.
So I don't disagree with the egregiousness of the calls as it appears, right? But we pointed out a call against the Giants that looked like it should have came out of a Kansas City game, right? If we're buying into that theory, right? So like if we really dissect and put everybody under a microscope, are we gonna see the same amount of bad calls, just egregious calls? I don't have the bandwidth to figure that out, right? I wanna keep my fandom alive and not believe that it's intentional, right?
Right.
Like I just don't
Yeah,
want
I feel
I,
you.
I just don't want to because then I'd have to give up football. I would, right? Like if that's what it is anymore, like I'm done.
Right. I
I'm
agree
I'm not, I'm not
100%.
kidding. Like I don't have time for that. Um, that being said, they're 4-0, right? But they haven't looked real good at 4-0. You know, Mahomes has looked pedestrian. Rasheed Rice is done for the season. I don't know if that's official yet, but I know Andy Reid said it's not good, right? Usually when a coach says it's not good, it's probably not good. You know, at least he got to leave the scene as fast as he did when he, you know, told
Rumor
him
has it that they're in talks with the Giants about trading for Darius Slayton, who's a good receiver.
he's a good receiver. Where's Jalen Hyatt?
That's a great fucking question. He ain't on the injury report. Something's happening with Hyatt and the coaching staff that has yet to be revealed. I don't know what it is, but what I do know is it's not it has resulted in him getting maybe a half dozen play calls and a single target per
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Who had a good game? Who does he play for? Sterling Shepard had a good game on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, who the fuck does he play for?
He plays for Tampa.
Yeah, he had a couple nice catches in that game.
Yeah, he plays for
I was
Tampa
like,
Bay.
this
He
motherfucker,
retired and came back and went to Tampa.
this motherfucker.
You know why he went to Tampa? Because Baker Mayfield called him and said, "You got another year in you, don't you?" And
Yeah,
they've been friends for a long time.
apparently he likes to throw to him too. You know, and he's a nice option if they're hawking on.
He's a good route runner.
You know, if they're hawking Evans and Godwin, it's nice to have Sterling Shepard there.
Yeah.
But I'm taking New Orleans. I'm taking the upset.
Okay. Think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You guys are off. Who else is off week 5?
Ooh, does it tell me that?
Tennessee, I think.
We didn't say Tennessee. Why wouldn't it just tell me who has bye weeks?
Yeah, I think
What?
Tennessee.
Week 5.
Detroit, Chargers, Eagles, Titans.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good week for a bye week for Mike. You know, it's
Yeah,
my
when you got the
35th.
injuries you're dealing with, it
Yeah,
couldn't be timed better. I
it's
mean,
my
in the beginning of the
yeah,
season, we talked about who the fuck wants it then, and now you're like thanking God for it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Get healthy,
Yeah,
get right. You know, you got 4 games under your belt, so
yeah,
you're at game speed, but the body's hurt a little bit. Let's get right. You know, a couple concussions out there. Get your head straight. It'll be all
no
right.
doubt.
It'll be all right. It's my 35th high school alumni reunion
When
this coming weekend.
are you going?
Yeah, I kind of have to because my daughter goes to the school and she cheers for football. So, like, I kind of got to go, especially if it's homecoming. And it's my 35th. So, it's a
Nice.
milestone.
Nice, very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I've never attended any reunions that my school had.
I kind of have to now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't even know that they invite me, but
Oh, I'm surprised they still let me on. I'm surprised they let my daughter in, but
yeah.
that's all her.
Well, good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, good week, man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Get rested, get healed. Maybe you'll come back with a new head coach and new life, new energy.
I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'd like to see it happen, right? If there's
Yeah,
a time to do it, it's right fucking now.
right.
It really is.
Well, it's early enough in the season, but I don't think they're going to do that. I just,
Has any coach ever, has any interim or replacement coach ever made it to the playoffs?
um, I, I, I think, yeah. And I don't remember who it was, but and it wasn't that long ago. But I don't know that a head coach has ever been fired after week five either, after week four either. That's
Uh,
like,
but if we're being honest, right? It's really like week 11 of the same shit. It's 11 weeks in a row.
yeah,
I mean,
no
come on.
doubt.
Come
Are
on.
you researching that?
I am. I had to do it before we check out. Yes. Most Tampa Bay, the Titans. Doesn't tell me who else.
Yeah.
Jim Caldwell in Detroit. No,
Mm.
he made the playoffs and then was fired the next year.
Yeah, and
But
that was unbelievable. He did not deserve to be fired. I remember that. And I remember feeling like, why was he fired when he brought them to the playoffs? And then he left there and he went and coached the Indianapolis Colts for I think 2 or 3 years. And he after that he was out of football
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. So it's rare.
Yeah.
I say fucking do it. I think they make the playoffs if they do it.
Hey,
They got too much talent, Atticus.
you're telling me. I know.
Too much talent.
Yeah, I think it's 46, 45 seconds left in the quarter. No, they're just gonna let this run out. 21-7 halftime lead. This game ain't even close.
No.
Oh, that was a nasty sack. Ugh. All right, brother. That's a
All right.
show.
All right, my man.
How we go with our picks next week. See if your coach is still in if his key card still works come week 6. And yeah, we'll do the same time next week.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Have a good night.
See you.
All right, peace.
Peace.